What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming back at you with another video, and today's video is going to be another tabletop RPG review. Today we're going to be doing this review from a slightly different angle. I noticed a lot of people in my previous RPG video liked this camera setup, so if you like this camera setup, please let me know in the comment box below, and I'll continue to do them in this camera setup rather than my talking at the camera with holding up a book. If you prefer that format, let me know as well. I'm just sort of trying to gauge what style review do you guys prefer. But today's tabletop RPG review is a sponsored review. I have been given some of the products by the author of this supplement that we're going to be taking a look at today, but I assure you that this is a completely my own opinion review, that I am giving an honest opinion for this. But today we're going to be taking a look at a supplement for OSRs. We're going to be taking a look at the Creature Feature Quarterly by Jeremy Hart. Now these are available on DriveThruRPG. You can pick them up as a PDF, and they are $4.50 a piece. These come in a couple different variants. There is the OSR variant, which is, this is a general basic or early edition D&D clone compatible supplement, and that only comes with, there's only one of those out right now, and this is volume 1. There's 5 different volumes for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons that you can get, and there's also one, I believe, for Black Hack that you can get. But today we're going to be taking a look at the volume 1 OSR edition. Now, what can you expect in this supplement? Well, this is basically a small bestiary that you can add on to your homebrew OSR games. Now, what games is this compatible with? So this is compatible with most basic compatible or early edition compatible OSR, such as Basic Fantasy Role-Playing Game, which is a tweaked version of the Basic Edition Dungeons and Dragons, and you can see that it's pretty much a clone or a retooling of Basic Edition Dungeons and Dragons. It's also compatible with legitimate Basic Edition Dungeons and Dragons products, such as the classic Dungeons and Dragons game, which is the Tanbox Basic Dungeons and Dragons, and it's fully compatible with both of these games, and you can use them easily with most OSRs. So we're going to now take a look at a little bit of what you get. So when you get this, you'll get a PDF, and the PDF has a couple different files. It's got paper miniatures, which I don't have printed out. It's got the magazine itself, which is what I do have printed out, and it also has the cover. Now I didn't print out the cover, honestly, because the cover, my printer ran out of ink while printing this, so I need to go buy printer ink. So I didn't have enough ink to print the cover, but that file is separate from the actual magazine itself, and I like that it is because it actually makes it easier to print out, especially if you don't want the cover or don't need the cover. It makes it a lot easier to print out. And now, one of the cool things about this supplement is the way that it's formatted. So we'll flip it open to the first page here, and as you see here, every single creature in this supplement will get a 2-page spread. On one page you get a short description / special effects paragraph at the top. You get the name, which is the Arbori, and then you get the stat block. So the stat block is pretty straightforward for an OSR game. You have your hit dice, which just doesn't give you what specific hit dice. It's whatever, depending on what system you're running. So for instance, I believe it's a D8 for basic fantasy, so you'd roll 4d8 plus 1. And armor class, which it uses the ascending armor class in this supplement. You can easily convert that to a descending armor class if you would like, but that makes it easier, more compatible with basic fantasy. It gives you a list of attacks, which for this creature you have 2 claws, which do 2d6 damage, or 1 bite, which does 1d10 damage. You have a save. Now the save is a more generic save because there's, depending on what different version OSR you have, there's different saves. Some use 1 save only, some use 3 saves, like save from poison, save from dragon breath, stuff like that. But you only get one save number, so you can expand on that if you want. You can just rule that for all the saves. It's really up to you. It gives you some of the special abilities that this creature has. You get your movement speed. In addition to your movement speed, you also get the climb speed, which is really nice. You do have an alignment. If your OSR that you're using has an alignment, that'll be useful because it gives you one of the 3 basic alignments. You have a lawful, neutral, or chaotic. There's no lawful good or anything like that. So if you're using a full 9-point alignment system, then you'll have to add a little bit, but it gives you one of the 3 points of alignment. It gives you number of encountered and also a roll for rolling your own amount if you would like. And then it gives you your XP, which is 400 XP for this creature specifically. Now, on this page, you'll get a description of each creature. Now, the descriptions are really cool. They give you a lot of information, and it also gives you like the lore of their origins and stuff, which is really cool. And I really like the description and lore section of the supplement. I think it does a really good job of giving you a quick description that you can expand on yourself. The ecology basically just gives you what kind of environments you will be encountering this creature in. And now my absolute favorite part of this supplement is the seeds. Now these are adventure hooks that you can throw into your campaign, or sample adventure hooks that you can, you know, kind of spin off of and just drop into your campaign. And they're really, really cool. I'm pretty sure all of them have 2 adventure seeds, which is really nice. And they're not just one-sentence adventure seeds. You have a small paragraph that gives you a pretty good hook for each individual creature that will sort of play into the specifics of the design of this creature. And then you have your loot section. The loot section's pretty generic. It doesn't give you a lot of specifics. Probably because this is meant to be used with multiple different OSRs. Now, the artwork in this is really, really, really nice. It's your standard old school black and white line style art. And it also always has a silhouette of an adventurer next to it. Now, I really like the fact that it has a silhouette of an adventurer, so you get a good scale of size for each individual creature. All of the artwork, I believe, is created by the author himself, which is really, really cool. And so pretty much all of this is, you know, stuff that he's thought up himself, and you get a real good idea of what he was imagining when he was trying to design this creature. And all of the artwork is really, really fantastic. Some really solid art in this supplement. And so you have a couple different creatures in here. You have varying different creatures from varying different levels of hit dice. So this one's the Blade Wraith, and you have some really cool information about that. A lot of these creatures are pretty unique and are stuff that you won't find in your standard OSR bestiary. And a lot of them are just a really cool twists. They're either cool twists on classic things, or they're things that you just don't see and are very unique. So you have some really cool things in here. And one of my favorite creatures, got to get to him, is this next guy here. This one is absolutely terrifying. I absolutely love this creature. He's so cool looking. You have these huge, like spear-like legs that this mantid Stitch has, and this would be great for a fantasy horror game, I think. And you have some really cool things in here. But like I said, it all pretty much follows the same format. You have your hit dice, your armor class, your attacks. Like I said, you have your standard 3-point alignment, and the seeds and the lore are just... There's a lot of really good resources that you can use in here. So you can basically use this as a basis for creatures that you want to tweak, or you can just, you know, grab and drop them in. And I really, really like the design of this. The 2-page layout is really, really, you know, well thought out. Everything fits in standard on 2 pages, so if you print it off, it fits perfectly. and you always have a blank back cover, which is just really, really cool. A lot of thought was put into the design of this supplement, including the separate cover that you don't have to print off, which is nice because then it doesn't mess up your formatting if you decide not to print the cover. So you have a lot of really cool stuff in here. All the creatures sort of vary in theme, from your standard fantasy to horror fantasy. It seems like most of them could be really well implemented in a horror themed campaign really easily. But like I said, all of the artwork, there's artwork for every single creature, and then you also have a monster by challenge level index in the back here, which is really, really cool. So that is a quick overview of the Creature Feature Quarterly Volume 1 for OSRs. And so let's talk about my final thoughts. So my final thoughts for this product are, it's really well designed. The artwork is absolutely phenomenal. I love the adventure seeds. I really wish, I know some bestiaries do adventure seeds, but most of them just kind of give you a stat block and a description, and that's pretty much it. I really love getting adventure seeds for the creatures that I'm reading about, so it gives me an idea of how to implement them into my story, or just use the adventure seeds as is. So the adventure seeds is one of my favorite things. The artwork is really fantastic. I like the fact that you get a sense of scale with the silhouettes next to them. And the 2-page layout is really well designed, and I think that this is a very professionally done supplement. And for $4.50, you're really getting your money's worth here. You get a solid chunk of creatures, and they're easily implementable into pretty much any OSR. Now, like I said, this is also available in 5th edition, which I do have. I did not print that out because it's the same creatures, but just with 5th edition stat blocks. But there's also an additional 4 volumes for 5th edition if you wanted to check this out, if you wanted to play 5th edition. Now, a lot of these creatures, it seems, have a more old school feel to them, so keep that in mind when you're implementing them into your 5th edition games. But if you wanted to get that old school feel while still playing 5th edition, which has the accessibility of being so popular, I think these are absolutely fantastic supplements, and I highly recommend going to check out his stuff on DriveThruRPG. Like I said, just search Creature Feature Quarterly by Jeremy Hart, and you should get pretty much all of them on DriveThruRPG. Now, in addition to this, he also is currently running a Kickstarter for the next issue of Creature Feature Quarterly, so be sure to go check that out through the various links on his pages. So, yeah, definitely a really cool supplement. A lot of really nice monsters in here, a lot of good inspiration, and a lot of just really great content in this small package. So let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.